Well, maybe you can show us your sun garden. It is beautiful. Is this it? Is it peaking or what?
Yes. I mean, there's still stuff up and coming, but this is pretty much when it looks the best. Because all the coneflowers are out. Daylilies are pretty much finishing up. I have a couple late daylilies, so.
So, how many years did it take you to get this thing going?
Oh God, I change it up every year, so I mean, the bare bones of the structure of the garden, honestly, it's just a bunch of mature plants. So I kind of revamp it and move around and try to thin some stuff out every year so that it kind of looks a little different every year and I don't have the same beautiful photo in July.
And most of these are perennials, right?
They're all perennials.
So they're all perennials. They'll
Yeah.
come back. And what's your yearly maintenance? What do you have to do to keep this garden looking this nice?
I put down a generic. Oh, look, there's a hummingbird. He's all mad because we're right here. Look at him.
Sounds like we got a monster hummingbird out there in the woods or something.
You see him? Anyway.
So
Now? Oh, so in the spring I put down a granular plant tone from Espoma, and I just literally layer one shot of that, and I mulch it. That's it. I'll fertilize specifically certain plants if I feel like they need it. The peonies for sure, like the tree peonies in there that you can't even see right now. I do fertilize those after they're done blooming because it helps to build the buds for next year. So, but the rest of it just feeds off the composted mulch and the fertilizer in one application.
what are your 3 favorite flowers in this garden?
I don't have 3 favorites.
Well,
It really, honestly, my favorites change depending on what's in bloom. So,
well, why don't we
this,
feature
see
3?
this right here? It's down to like the last few. That's a ruby spider daylily. That is one of my absolute favorite daylilies. I will show you why. I have a picture of it where it's pretty much, you can't even see the green. It's just like such a statement. And the flowers are huge. I mean, they can get up to like 8-9 inches. So that's my favorite. Like right now, the orange daylily, that's called Mighty Chestnut. See how this is sort of going off? This is sort of at peak right now.
Now, where do you get like Mighty Chestnut?
Oh God, don't ask. I can't give up my secrets. If you knew how much I paid for some of these, you might think.
Wait a minute.
No, I can't say this on
I
film.
don't know how much you paid for this.
If I say this on film, then you'd have a motive to kill me. So, I mean, so these are like specialty. So
I can't kill you. All the flowers would die.
it is true. It's true, and the crabgrass would take over. You know, I buy from special hybridizers for some of these, and some of these are just basic, you know, like basic pink coneflowers. Those are the ones the pollinators love, so I have to leave them in there.
So maybe you can just give us a quick rundown of some of these flowers, so maybe the viewers could sneak a few ideas out of this thing.
Okay.
What do we got here?
That was a transplant. It doesn't look so hot. It's the same thing as that. Those are Burgundy, Baja, Sombrero coneflowers. So I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 patches of this because it's so bright. And they, even when they fade to this color, which is super bright. So they come out really vibrant and they make a statement. Like any photo that you see in July of this garden has an amazing red pop in like 6 places. That's those. So those are Baja Sombrero coneflowers. The only drawback to that, like the honeybees like them, but I've never seen like the, you know, the butterflies and that, they really gravitate more toward the pink. So it really depends what your motive is to planting your garden. If you want butterflies and everything coming in, you really have to plant like Mamma Mia's. Those are the coneflowers back there. Those have kind of faded, but they open up this tropical coral color and then they fade to that pink, and that is a magnet for butterflies. So yeah, I mean, black-eyed Susans, those are pretty much, you know, I have to yank those every year because they'll take over if I don't. There's one little section of Joe Pyeweed back there We had a late frost, and a couple of the stalks that were coming up got nailed. So that is not looking so pretty anymore. But it's the one stalk of Joe Pye weed is in with those liatris, which are the purple and white flowers. Those are a big hummingbird and hummingbird moth magnet. We have cardinal flower. This isn't even in bloom yet. This will get big bright red spikes. This is the same plant in burgundy foliage. So that one's called black truffle, but that's just the regular cardinal flower. Big hummingbird plant. And I don't know what else. Like this is just pretty all the time, but in the spring it gets these bright yellow flowers. So you get like a pop of color in the spring, and then you get pretty foliage for the rest of the summer until it dies back. That's a euphorbia called bonfire. And these coneflowers are called Fatal Attraction. They're really the only coneflower with dark stems. So when you look at this, it's like there's a really good contrast. You get dark stems, that orangey center, and then a bright pink. So it kind of makes a statement. I like it. It's different. It has a different habit too. See how the flowers are like a foot above the plant? It's kind of weird, but I like it. It stands out.
Now, how long is the garden going to look like this? Is this it? This peak?
This is sort of peak, yes. You know, there's other things that will go off, but now, like the coneflowers, there's still buds up and coming, so this will be like this for another month, I would say.
Really?
I mean, not like these are going to stay for a while. There's still buds coming out on them, so I'll always have this red. The cardinal flowers are coming, the hydrangeas are coming. So if you plant for spring, summer, and fall, you'll have like a succession of color. So even though the color may be in different places, the garden's gonna always look good through the summer.
So what do you estimate a garden like this cost again?
Oh, on the record or off?
Oh, he's trying to catch you on that one.
I wouldn't even know. If I had to calculate by how many pots of plants I put in here, I mean, that tree peony right there was 175 bucks. So,
what?
Yeah.
What tree peony's that? What is a tree peony?
The spring.
That pink thing that
No,
looks like...
no, it's not even in bloom.
Oh, great.
It blooms in the spring, that one. I drove to Connecticut for that. So that was like, you know, but that's a specialty plant. So I mean, if I had to put, generally pots of plants are like anywhere from 15 to 22 bucks for like a pot of flowers. And I usually have to get in threes, because if you just plant one, I mean, it's pretty, but if you want like a massive color, like if you want to get a picture like I do of my gardens and everyone's like, whoa, look at all this color, can I fit any more plants in there? You have to plant in big sections of flowers and color. So when I buy in threes generally.
Plus, you also need to have a good laborer around the house. A guy that's really strong, that does a lot of mulching and, you know, doesn't mind getting his hands dirty, really.
Yeah, or complaining about it, yeah.
Well, you know, it's like the guy behind the camera never gets the credit.
Oh, well, yes, you do load up the wheelbarrows and the wagons.
Well, you know, it's like you have the before and after shot, but you have to show the trainer was there too during the process,
well,
right?
I appreciate that you work so hard to, you know, let me keep my habit.
Well, I just want, you know, a lot of these, your fans to know that...
I have fans? I don't have fans.
Well, I'm sure...
My garden has fans.
I'm sure you'll have fans after this, but I just want them to know that, you know, not everybody has a husband that can do what I do.
Yes. I have to catch you before 6:30, because otherwise you're sleeping, right?
Well, hey, you know, I do have a real job.
Yes, thank God. Could you imagine if you didn't and I needed to buy plants?
Yeah, well, so, you know, most people don't have to have a garden this big. You could start small. What would you suggest for a beginning gardener? Like, what would you suggest? You got like 3 minutes left here on video. So
what would I suggest? I mean, it really depends on what you're wanting. If you want pollinators, if you just want pretty, if you want easy, pest-free, deer-resistant plants, you know, everybody's going to want different. You can have this garden, but it's a lot of maintenance. It's a lot of keeping the deer and the insects away, the bad ones. But honestly, if you have a garden like this that's so stuffed with plants and beautiful flowers, even if the deer eat things and the Japanese beetles make something look ugly, there's so much color you don't really notice. So that's the only secret with this garden, is if you have so much, you generally don't see any insect damage. And I don't spray any pesticides on my garden, so I have a nice balance of insects. They all kind of work together. It's when you try to kill off a certain family of bad bugs and you get the good bugs too, you'll get infestations, like, without a doubt.
Sorry, I gotta kind of get close to you because our neighbor, for some reason, decided right when I said action to cut a tree down the size of a redwood. So, yeah, honey, we're running out of tape. I love your garden, the summer garden. We'll talk later about how much it actually cost. And
Nah, we don't have to do that.
maybe we'll check.
This is over 10 years, though. I mean, if I had to spread it out over 10 years, then, you know.
It's definitely beautiful, I'll admit it. And it's well worth all the hard work that I do to make these gardens look great.
Okay, my daughter needs my help. I'm out.
So,
I'm out.
thank you.
Welcome.
There you have it, folks. Some gardens are good. Summer gardens are great. And loud chainsaws are annoying. Kids are too.